Welcome to the East African Perspective podcast. I am your host, Musanjifu Benjamin Kavobo. Today, we are joined by a voice at the heart of Uganda's securities and defense, the spokesperson of the Uganda's People's Defense Forces. The UPDF is not only central to Uganda's stability, but also plays a visible and vital role in regional peace efforts. From operations in the Democratic Republic of Congo to contributions under AMISON, now ATMIS, in Somalia, to its presence in South Sudan, the UPDF has positioned itself as both a national institution and a regional actor. At the same time, the force faces big questions at home and abroad: how to balance national security and peace for normal people, everyday citizens in the region, especially the youth. What does regional deployment mean for East African youth? What does it mean for the East African economies? And what does it mean for the reputation of Uganda and the force itself? So I'm joined by my co-host Thomas Lesafe and also General Felix Kulayigye. So, Thomas.
General, we would like to start with the foundations. UPDF is a forces that have been involved in the region since at least 40 years now. Where are the doctrine? What was the stability of the doctrine? What are the pillars of the UPDF doctrine, and how those pillars has evolved because of the presence on the field? I'm sure that all the time there's more information coming from the field that should shape the doctrine. Where does that Pan-African doctrine of UPDF come from?
Thank you very much for that question, and I want to reach both of you. So the regional Seki,
Yes, true.
so this effort is knowledgeable.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The students of our history,
Correct.
as the Andre at the continent. But where do we come from? We had the process of nation formation.
Mm-hmm.
It was arrested by COVID. We had the empires Lufko. Before we came on, we were talking about the emerging impact. Some impact. These were beyond the smaller claims all the countries will have to pay. You had to be so. Today, the impact to the zoo is even further out to get.
Correct, yeah. The story never stops.
And the helping grade of this history can know the power of sense. Okay? Look at the French. France is what it is today because of the it's not
Napoleon.
Definitely.
But why? That you have to be, yes, you have to have your lot, Pan-African. But our country on its own is nothing. So our country will be meaningful, will survive. Or such a point of survive. Our country will survive if it's the bigger entity. And the bigger entity would be a made from Africa.
Okay.
But Kenyan the dynamics to have today,
Yes.
you cannot talk about an African continent without regional integration.
Yes.
Start with the real one.
Yes.
Where your cultures, common languages, it was similarly across the borders, all around us. So why did you first of all consolidate these cultures? Disrupted by the colonialists. Because Muammar Gaddafi, may so rest in peace, wanted one Africa. There and there. But you see, you have to develop a consensus of where you want to go and where you want to go. So the UPDF is a product of our own history.
Okay.
One, we participated in the liberation struggle in the Southern Africa, in Mozambique.
Yes.
So it does well there.
Yes.
Frelimo.
That shifts their thinking.
Okay.
Then two, like you were saying before we come on, people like Yere, Nkuma, Lumumba, shaped our thinking. But two, also, what happened to some of them? The murder of Patrice
Lumumba.
The overthrow of
Kwame Nkrumah.
by a force which had been held under the UN in the Congo. You see the interconnection?
Just down the road from us now.
The very force that was watching when they killed Lumumba goes back home and was their own president.
Yes.
These, I'm sorry to say, angered us. You cannot afford to be deceived that you are independent, but actually people are still controlling you. You're on a conveyor belt of resources that go. So the question was, how do we change this? The African must solve the African. Not waiting for others, because the others are waiting for actually 3 years.
Definitely. And how do you make sure today, in 2025, the leadership of the army leadership, people like you, still follow that line? How do we make sure that we don't lose
Even the next generation.
and the next generation of soldiers right now?
I'm glad you wrote this book. This is passing down.
Yes, books. I was about to ask you, General, when are you writing?
I haven't heard it. So we, from the word go, from the Bush days,
Yes.
we have been teaching political education.
Okay.
Who are we?
Okay.
Who is our enemy?
Yes.
Where do we want to go?
Yes.
How do we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whom would we go with?
Definitely. Very key questions.
So we educated ourselves on those fundamentals.
Okay.
And this has been passed on from 1981 to date.
Okay.
Every recruit, whether at cadet level or basic training, undergoes political education.
Okay. Maybe just because maybe it's few titles for our listeners to read. I'm thinking personally maybe we should all say one book. I'm thinking of How Africa Must Unite from Kwame Nkrumah. I guess that's a classic. I'm thinking Walter Rooney, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. If you haven't read this one from Dar es Salaam, very key. What would be a third book we could recommend our viewers?
First of all, I would like, for me, I would wish to start anger.
Okay.
To spark.
To start,
To start. Yes, you stand, then spark something.
Yes, once you start it, like you're shaking.
Yeah, there's a tree to be shaken. Yeah, I agree. Nelson Mandela's name was Shake the Tree.
You start with my favorite author.
Ngugi
Ngugi wa Thiong'o,
Yes, you read his book, The Grain of Wheat.
Okay. That's definitely a good book. So reading is at the base of how UPDF also transform into a Pan-African force.
As the common saying is, knowledge is power.
Okay, definitely.
So when you sit with colleagues and you discuss these things, I'll pick something, you also pick.
At the East African, we believe that this is this type of
really books like this, then they actually give you, like I say, this problem statement.
problem statement. Exactly.
What is this? And therefore, you develop what do you think are the possible answers
Correct.
to that question.
Okay.
So knowledge is important. And in this political education, we teach about the history of Africa.
Yes.
Who is responsible for where we are?
Yes.
Is it purely the colonialist or an role to play? You've heard our commander-in-chief talk about the small chiefs. Those were very, very great. Yeah.
The right hand of colonialists.
Yes. But as you know, he talks about Uganda before he came on air. And you might tell people, Uganda is a nation. Munyoro is a nation. But Uganda is not a nation. Uganda is a country.
Okay.
When shall we make Uganda a nation?
Okay.
A process. A long process.
So, education.
Political education. That's what
I saw, General, all soldiers, you have said, go through this. We had that thinking of after they are trained in combat, they know nothing about politics until later.
It will be wrong.
Okay.
It's Hans Clausewitz who said, war is politics by other means.
So
executors of war are
yes.
soldiers. Now, if you have a soldier who is not politically conscious, he's a war machine.
That's what exactly.
All they can do is kill.
Sans d'éducation politique est un criminel en puissance. The soldiers without political education is a criminal
It's a gang of criminals.
It's a gang of criminals.
Yeah, and I'm without political
And that is what forms the UPDF and how we see the UPDF right now, especially in the region and the continent.
So let's go maybe like chapters by chapters. I know Benjamin, you want to speak of Somalia?
Yeah, I want to speak of Somalia. We went into Somalia. Of course, Somalia was, I wouldn't want to use the word failed. It was failed for some,
But not failed by Somalians.
no, not by Somalia.
Yeah, failed
Not
by
by
Americans.
It was failed for a long time. America tried to go in, they failed until an African solution by Africans was brought up. And then we saw the UPDF. The UPDF was the first country, Uganda was the first country to contribute troops to the operation. And they went in, and things have changed. People can now travel to Somalia. Somalia is now a member of the East African community.
You know how busy Mogadishu airport is?
No?
We have not had the chance to go to
We had-
Mogadishu.
They receive, I think in a week, they receive 150 flights.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot. And that happened after this peacekeeping mission that had Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, and I think Ethiopia going in. And we have been there. The results are being seen. General, I want to ask you, before we go to how the soldiers are faring, we saw what happened in Afghanistan when the US withdrew. And the moment they withdrew, the Taliban took
They
over.
lost the war.
So we are hearing reports of Al-Shabaab trying to regroup, and there have been very many fierce battles this year. We hear there is a gap that has led to the coming in of ISIS. How sure are we that we won't have that situation that happened in Afghanistan when time comes, when Uganda withdraws from Somalia?
Very good question, the audience.
Well, yes.
First of all, in a short, let me try to summarize the whole stage of that conflict.
Yes.
Somalia is a victim of superpower rivalry.
Yes.
First, the Americans were in Ethiopia.
In Ethiopia.
Mhm.
Then when Mengistu goes to Soviet Union, they come to Somalia. And then for them, they were exploiting the long-standing desire by the Somalis to have the entire Somali territory.
Together.
Those stars you see represent the Somali territory. Djibouti, Ugandan,
Yes.
Kenya.
Okay. And Somali was very educated people at the time by Siad Barre. They were educated, fully state.
You know, they had the multi-party democracy in 1960s.
Mm.
Somalia.
And education, not just democracy, education, yeah.
The most enterprising people I've known on the African continent.
And that is why they have thrived, because wherever they are.
Literacy rate in history of Africa was made by Siad Barre that took his country from 20% literacy rate and putting to 85, 86. Only Gaddafi
And
in the same. Yeah.
I've also read something of them having the first female Air Force pilot in Somalia. Yeah.
So you have given a background of how this. The first attempt to help the warlords come together was made by President Museveni in 1992. He flew into Mogadishu when nobody could go there.
Okay.
I remember from at every 10 meters you will pay tanks the airport. Controlled by a different groups.
Yeah, okay.
So he met FRID, he met Mohammed, the other warlord, and actually brought to them the desire and the importance of them talking together. So go back to Somalia.
Yeah.
It's as if the Americans had read this to be the end of their dreams.
Uh-huh.
Then they cook up the mission
Okay.
Restore Hope
Restore Hope, the infamous one.
of 1993.
Yeah.
Clinton.
Now, the Restore Hope mission gets on the ground and the Americans changed the narrative
Uh-huh.
from Restore Hope to capture IDID.
Well, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now you are capturing IDID, a Hawiye in Mogadishu, dominated by a Hawiye. And you know,
That,
Somalia's culture, Somalia's politics is based on those clans.
that meant they didn't know what they were doing.
Eh? It's a 4-3-2-1,
Yeah, yeah.
depending on the size of the clan.
Okay.
That's how the mission fails.
That's how the mission fails. And how did the UPDF saw it at the time? I mean, you probably were sobbed at the time.
Yes, I was.
Seeing America coming here and trying to be cool to me,
Pursuit of their imperialism,
and it was meant to fail.
and it was meant to, we need to fail anyway.
It was meant to fail.
But later on, when we got to Somalia, now we understand what they are.
So is it also what you think?
You do understand what they want.
We understand what they are after.
Okay.
That's the problem. So you also understand that the current peace missions in between Qatar, that Qatar is hosting, officially it's Qatar, but we know it's Washington behind it. It's also meant to fail.
It will fail.
It is important our audience understand that, because we
Will fail.
then the propaganda are really good and the narrative is already shaped, and we think like they are super technological and super ready for everything. But the truth is they're not. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand Africa.
I don't think Trump knows where Congo is.
I must salute the imperialists. They are good at propaganda.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, they are good at it.
They
They
are
are good at it.
publishing, and they may make even surrender your all the value. I've done it. The Qatar mission about the DRC is about continuous control over the Congolese resources.
Correct.
And they are better off with a weaker government.
In
In a war situation. I mean, explain it.
with a face state like they made in Somalia in 1990.
And they have made it clear this time they want.
You have a country without road infrastructure, but there are airports and railroads
Yeah.
littered across the country.
Why?
Yeah.
Is the Bogoli doing the airport?
No, it's not them. It's not.
So, Somalia might go the Afghan way, as you are saying, because we are not meeting our own expenses being there as Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
And for us, we think as UPDF, whoever introduced the dollar in the mission was the enemy.
Okay.
And when the African Union in 2006 decided, there was a summit in Abuja. On the sides of the summit, a few leaders came together and said, including President Museveni, why don't we solve this?
Sure.
And that's how they are good for AMISOM.
Amazon.
They asked countries to volunteer. The foreign countries were approached. Nigeria, being the superpower of Africa, Malawi, Rwanda, Tanzania, I think Egypt, and Uganda. Then Burundi. Malawi agreed, they never came. Nigeria said how much is being paid. And how I wish they had come there.
Okay.
Because the Boko Haram came from Somalia.
Yeah. Yes. We were saying they'll come there. Yeah. It is.
First all. So they chickened out.
Huh.
So for us, we said whether there is money or not, we have a duty as a Pan-Africanist force, help our African brothers and sisters, stabilize.
Okay.
So that's how he comes back and we start preparing for the mission.
Okay.
As the IGAD was sponsoring the peace talks, still the different factions.
Yes.
And so the first government is formed in Kenya.
In Kenya, yes, in Nairobi.
So it was a government in exile.
Yes.
And we wanted to create a base, a situation where this government could come back
On ground.
on ground.
On ground.
So that's how on 9th of March 2007, the first force gets into
Somalia.
amid disputes.
Actually,
The second claim was banned.
Okay.
Fortunately, we only lost equipment, human beings
Survived.
Okay.
But the pilot was able to land amidst the hail of fire, and the people got out.
Actually, there's a lot of stories like this. I think
That story I didn't know.
I think we'll have to have the general more. Please tell us in comments if you appreciate like understanding the history of all those conflicts.
So, still on Somalia, before we leave Somalia, how do we solve this dollar issue?
Yeah, that's a very
Because it
and when
involves motivation, and how does what solution do we have as
and then you said the what
Africa-
introduces our enemies.
Yes.
Should we introduce it?
Yes.
Give us context.
The same people I've been talking about. For them, they wanted to be relevant.
Yes.
If you stabilize Somalia minus them,
Yes.
Yeah.
They have no cut.
Because just to remind our audience, Somalia is located, we have said that long time ago with Benjamin, is located on the trade road between Asia and Europe. And if you cut that road right now, Europeans have zero consumption, zero capacity to produce. So Asia is producing for Europe, right? And so if you cut Somalia out of the deal, or even Egypt with the Suez Canal, then the cost
The sea route.
the cost of consumptions for Europeans, any consumptions, even the cars, new rockets, okay, military is a bit different, but for the rest, for the consumptions of the
Not
population,
even military, because they get resources.
will be 30% higher. Without Somalia,
Did anybody check what happened when the Suez Canal was?
yeah, well, my own sister in Brussels lost a job for 10 days. She had no job for 10 days simply because an African infrastructure says stop. I've been asking people, why is it that we're not aligning with Egypt on opening or closing the Suez Canal? Because Egypt is controlling it on its own, but it's all Africa that is impacted.
Yes.
We should be able to use our infrastructure in the benefit of all trade routes, not on other people.
No, even
And that's another point. That's another.
Tom, you may wish to know that Egypt cannot do that. Besides the income,
$2 billion.
what
I heard.
the role of USA?
Yes. But we have seen how US are not protecting anyone else in the region, and when they say they protect, we clearly can see they don't. Qatar have showed us. But going a bit to the south, we will get back to South Sudan after. But I think right now our audience want also to understand like the role of UPDF in DRC.
in DRC.
Trying to be present in DRC at least since the 90s, stabilizing regions such as Ituri and being present in
Eastern Congo, basically.
Eastern Congo, basically. Kivu,
From
Ituri.
DRC.
We are there also because the ADF, which have been, I understand, created a long time ago by Sudan in Uganda to destabilize Uganda, has now continued to destabilize Uganda from the east of Congo. What do we understand of this situation, especially for our audience that might not understand the international implications of all what's happening and the role that Uganda has in making sure that the region is not just stable, but also economically stable?
Yeah, basically, Thomas, basically, how would a youth running a small business hoping to export to Congo benefit from UPDF's presence?
And not just to Congo, to Kampala, but also to South Sudan, to Kenya, and to Rwanda and Burundi.
Wow, it's a very big subject. That's a whole thesis.
Yes, it is, but we want to break down.
For starters, this Uganda is in the center of 3 conflict zones.
Yes.
The Horn of Africa conflict system, Sudanic conflict system,
Yes.
Betrex conflict system.
Yeah.
That fact alone requires you to make yourself firm, strong, and stable to manage surviving in this.
Which UPDF have managed.
Now, 1, 2. Therefore, you must participate in stabilizing the region.
Yes.
It's in our interest, first as a country to survive, that we stabilize the region.
Otherwise, we'll spill over.
It has economic implications.
Huge economic implications.
Uganda is almost at the center. Not even almost, it is. Now, if you are in Uganda, you have access to Eastern DRC, you have access to Rwanda, Burundi, you have access to
South Sudan.
You have a market in Kenya and Tanzania. So, but you can only be meaningful in those markets if you yourself are about all. In terms of commerce, you're a market yourself, but you have what to sell in the other market. So, before even you come today, we have had a role in South Sudan since the 90s.
Okay.
We supported the SPLA to regain the self-actualization. Eastern DRC, you see, nature abhors a vacuum. And Eastern DRC had a vacuum of state control. And you people are talking about M23 and now ADF from Uganda. There's over 130 groups inside the DRC.
Yes.
Now, in such a situation, you must have, in my view, a stable government in Kinshasa.
Yes.
With the ability to have a federal government across the rest of the country that therefore have state control to eliminate this vacuum. However, in the presence of this vacuum, therefore, anybody wants to rule. So, because of that vacuum, Sudan was able to help ADF with support of Mobutu at that time, start their bases, and then they attack Kasese in 1996. Now, for us, we don't believe in the territorial. If you attack, we must follow you.
Okay.
That's our doctrine.
That's the doctrine of the
You bring what to us, we come.
we follow you until
First attack us.
cars to the honor.
Yes. So that's what happened in 96. And that's how we ended up removing Mobutu.
Yes.
And they gave the Congolese a chance to determine how they would go forward. Now, I will tell you, and that's what the young Ugandans need to know. You have heard about the ICJ case and
Yes.
the compensation.
Yes.
When we managed to remove Mobutu, we introduced police
Yes.
In Congo.
in Congo.
Okay.
Now, the gentlemen in the Brussels and Washington
We're not happy about it.
are not happy about it.
Curious. Now that makes sense.
The English say the antelope does not hate the one who sees it. It hates the one who points where it is high. And
know-
when UPDF
What UPDF was doing was
pointing where the
Problem
who was the thief.
Yes.
So that's why General take it to the ICJ.
you have poured water to the ICJ. You have watered it down.
That's the case. Who is the prosecutor in ICJ? Who is the judge? And who accused us? Wasn't Congo? No.
Is that ICJ is something that?
Currently, the judge, the president of ICJ is our own.
But do you think that was a mistake, that ICG and that cancellations that was made between DRC and Uganda? Like, do you think it was a mistake or
Of course it was.
it was a mistake?
Twice.
We were being punished for pointing where the antelope was hiding. Tell me, of the 6 countries that were involved,
Why?
only Uganda was financing its own war.
Yes. The rest.
That-
The rest, the war financed itself.
Yes.
yeah.
So- Are you surprised that the others were left and Uganda, which was different, as a choose?
I was like,
GDs, the others were fellow C.
there's definitely a lot of people.
They were aiding the theft and
Aiding the theft, participating. These ones were whistleblower.
and it explains which side they were fighting out.
Explain which side.
So
How comes
we are saying
I've never figured this out.
you couldn't, because the propaganda again has
Yes.
and unfortunately
Mm.
our own people never bother to educate themselves.
Most of the information is difficult to find.
We have tried to look at the war and
But the
From record on this matter.
oh yes, okay.
Because one, as a participant who about the Congo myself, I was actually the director of information in Ituri,
Wow.
2003.
Okay.
I have been studying Congo since my school days.
Okay.
I have a file of this size on conflicts in Africa.
Okay. So okay, I know that was not planned, but if you were there, it's just a question for me because one of the most interesting moments of the war for me, and is the Kisangani battle. The troops that the UPDF are formed and trained, like turning against them by surprise. Can you tell us about a little bit of it, those 3 days of war in Kisangani that have shaped the destiny of the region until today?
The most unfortunate part of our history
was that.
was the Kisangani conflict.
Okay.
For allies to fight.
Yes. And close allies.
Very close ally.
Very, very close allies.
Yes, brothers.
Those were people all in Kampala.
That
in
was
Renaissance.
fight was the most unfortunate.
What happened there? How did things get
Yeah.
10? Oh, is it
I
for another episode maybe?
liberty.
You know, it may be one time.
Yes, but it has met from our side, or it has elsewhere. But these areas were not solvable.
Okay.
They could have been solved.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
The contradictions were not to that extent.
Okay. To that.
Up to date, if you asked him, my commander in chief,
Yes.
he keeps asking, how could, for example, the Korean Peninsula
Yeah.
has been in the state of war since 1951.
yes,
But they have never fought.
yeah, they have never.
So how could we fight?
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Never saw. So I know time won't allow us, but we are going to. We may not touch Mozambique. Let's move to South Sudan. General, there was a perception that again we are going back to finances. That in South Sudan the cost was being bared by the South Sudanese government. But last week, the last edition of the East African said they reported and said Uganda is footing its own cost in South Sudan. There is that aspect. And then there is also, now that we are in South Sudan, where is the UPDF heading, given that also at the upper Sudan, is in conflict, what happens in the event the conflict in Khartoum spills into South? What happens to UPDF? How will UPDF react? What are the implications for the region and the continent?
You see, so, can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
How much money is what is life worth?
No, you can't put a cost on.
Us as a Christian, we can't answer.
You can't
Question.
put a cost on life.
It's not a cost.
Thank you very much. Do you imagine how many millions of people are dying in South Sudan?
Very many.
Very many.
Where is conflict?
Very
Famine.
many.
Yes.
Lack of medical care. Now, if you claim you're a Christian, I am a Christian. You are a Christian.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're seeing your brother die.
Yes.
And you're supposed to see.
No, you can't.
You can't sit.
You can't sit.
So before even you talk about doctrine,
Start from the Christian doctrine.
It's humanity.
it's humanity.
It's
Right? In fact, at one point, it was resolved the African Union that gone should be the days of Africans watching, looking on, where the other Africans are dying
And dying.
and killed.
And it is really rehumanizing people that have been dehumanized, taken out of history, taken out of global dynamics. When the law is there, it's been long. Rehumanizing.
Number one. Number two, at selfish level, you're talking about a young man in Kampala. The financial meltdown of 2008,
The world financial meltdown. Yes.
Uganda was able to survive
Yes.
because of regional.
We basically most people didn't even understand what was happening.
Because we had a very thriving regional trade.
Regional trade.
Yes.
Until 2013, when that thing broke out in South Sudan.
Yeah. And when our trade.
Today, we have volunteered to repair roads in Eastern Congo.
Yes.
Yes.
To enable the Ugandan business, transport hubs to market in Chisanga.
But might that not also create tensions with our neighbors? I'm thinking of Rwanda that also aims at having an influence on the east of Congo and especially a lot of economic trade between them. The UPDF are building roads that goes to Kampala, not to Kigali. Might that not also show some tension?
Well, of course, it may. But again, back to the question I've asked. Do you prefer to sit on roads?
No.
Because you fear?
No.
Be angry?
No.
Definitely.
No. You have to do something.
Something.
To the side.
And you can see that ABF had taken over large tracts of land
Yes.
in Italy because nobody was touching them. They were farming, they were mining.
Yeah.
They had closed food, they had closed the health centers.
Okay.
Churches were not functioning.
And people were killed in churches
People were displaced.
very recently.
Killing churches, yes, has continued, but now it's a smaller rate. Roads were impassable, both physical and ambushes.
Yes.
All those is part of history now. In the areas we have taken over.
Yeah.
So, if you talk of situation east of River Italy,
But you're also in a situation where Congolese themselves are divided. The Wazalendo are one side, the FARDC, the Congolese army, are another side. And then in the south, you have M23, which are backed by other regional army. How do we make sure we don't put ourselves into something that is going to flame us back?
you can be sure there is ripples.
Yes.
When you step in water,
Yeah, there are people, there are ripples.
and when you step in troubled waters,
Yes.
then worse.
Yes.
You do not expect, you see, I always give the analogy of a pregnant mother.
Okay.
That you may decide to say, my wife has a nice figure. I don't want that figure to change. Forget about children.
Yes.
For you to maintain that figure, she must not to conceive. But if you have to propagate life,
Yes.
then you sacrifice the
Figure.
If you want to stabilize the region, you be prepared for the consequences of stabilizing the region. Cause else, you accept, fall on your hands, and all of you remain in this state of affairs, a state of Bagama. And the others keep coming and taking away your resources.
And
I need to warn you, younger people, and you have hinted on it. The rest of the world has no resources.
yes.
Yeah. Here. It's Africa. Here.
Very key to understand that with 5 harbor in Africa, the world capitalism would fall because they don't have the resources to produce what they produce. Durban, Dar es Salaam, Mombasa, we take that out, the Chinese are done. And then by domino effect, the rest of the world.
The rest of the world.
Gentlemen, in Mogadishu, there is a plane from a superpower that lands every night.
Every
The
day.
landings, lights are switched off.
When it's landing, is like the city light off. Lights are switched off.
The cities lights are very far.
Foreign country from outside Africa.
And the lights are back whilst has taken off.
So as we wrap up, General, let's see.
But
we have
to have just,
okay.
I want to know: Are we winning the ADF? Do we see the end of a conflict in
Yes, we are winning the ADF if
Yes.
our Congolese counterpart follow the following strategy that we shared with them. If you want to deal with insurgencies successfully,
Yes.
you must have a concept of zonal forces and mobile forces.
Oh yes.
Zonal forces to protect the citizens,
Okay.
And then
and a mobile to pursue.
to pursue.
Now, for us, we are pursuing. That's how you hear ADF has gone to certain village and killed people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they are open and
In
exposed.
Lubero and Toyo.
Exactly. So until our Congolese counterparts accept this doctrine of a zonal force,
Okay.
if you read about conflict about BSLRA, that's what we did.
Okay.
We were condemned, we were put people in the camps, but we were able to protect them.
In the camps, they were safer in the camps.
Were we stronger with the East African other army, with the East African community coming as a East African community, or are we stronger as a country with?
We are stronger as a region.
As a region.
The aircraft that we attempted to form,
Yes. So what happened to it?
was the best option for the region. So the regional effort.
Yes.
But you see, what is the cause? Why are we talking of when M23?
No, definitely. Yeah.
We don't even know about the others.
So let's go. We know, but there's 130 of them, as you said.
But I'm part of them. But why M23? M23 is the only force that is fighting for what I would call a legitimate cause.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
they have been differentialized.
Yes.
They are being declared non-Congolese
Yes.
Okay.
because they happen to speak a language.
Banyamulenge issue.
Banyamulenge.
Something we see all over the world.
Yes. They are being told you belong to the other country.
Uh-huh.
And the Congolese have even told them, some of the Congolese authorities, you go back.
It's also a problem when you don't know
Yeah,
history.
particularly to what Nyerere said. Well, it was against mediating between the Gako conference and the precursors or 23. This is an old conflict. So, M23 would be solved. It's the easiest. It's a question of saying, yes, you recognize you. Let's go. And he treated them as such. I want to really the gentlemen and listen to it there. The most difficult conflict to fight is an identity conflict.
Okay.
Now the Congolese one is worse. It's both identity and resource conflict.
Yeah, it comes together.
Gaza.
Well, these guys are not that the Gaza doesn't have as much resources as the East.
They do have gas. So, General, as we wrap up, where should the UPDF be? Because we have made an impact in the region, the continent. We are in Equatorial Guinea. I don't know why we are not in Mozambique. We should be there. Mozambique is we started my talking about Mozambique. Our brothers.
But we let our brothers.
But our brothers are there.
Yeah, of course, our brothers are there.
He's in Mozambique.
Yes.
So, and for us, as if he's there, we are there.
Where will
That's good.
with great power competition, AFRICOM, then China, where is the UPDF going to be in future? Where should the UPDF be on the global stage? Especially with what we are seeing. Actually, now
5 years in 10.
now the global south has changed into the global majority. Now, where does this regional force find itself?
Is the right word.
Yes,
Global majority.
global majority.
But exploit that majority
Yes.
to take our center stage.
Okay.
1, 2. Like I said at the very beginning, can only be a center stage. She can only be the charge of your affairs if you are united as a co
Yes.
and as a game first.
Yes.
So for me, regional integration should have taken place 20 years ago.
South African community, SADC.
By bringing Congo, DRC into the East African,
The South African community.
to me was the greatest revolution
that you've seen, eh? That is, as a Pan-African, you have been a Pan-Africanist. Yeah, no, the greatest success in the land in this is very true. This is very true.
Now you're talking about access to other
Atlantic,
access to India.
Indian
Yeah.
Ocean.
Yes, yes. And we're talking about great forces, great economic forces that now can work together.
Look at the population size.
Yes.
So that's a market, a huge market. Look at the resource base. Oh my God. However, with that wealth, you need a strong father for this 18-year-old girl not to be disrupted.
Need some guidance.
So the strength of leadership
Yes.
is paramount.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
2, leadership is not at presidential level alone. What sort of parliament do we have? You look at the elderly gentlemen in this house. Where even some of them understand this concept.
no, they don't. We are where they don't.
So we're in the Islam as a committee, when in the 10th parliament,
Yes.
as a committee on budget.
Mm.
And then this blessed colleague of mine asks a Tanzanian, he's free.
Oh, wow.
I pulled it back. I said, I spoke in our local language. I said, if it were one,
The identity crisis we talk about. Yeah.
here they don't
Yeah.
ask about us.
Yes, 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 yes.
But you can see we had exported our body manners.
That's the,
You are not yet, that's why I said we are not yet mentioned
yes.
that a member of parliament is asking a person in a foreign country, he's free. Until we become Ugandans. And I will be telling you, I've done a survey, 6 universities. My sample is 350. No Ugandan.
I heard, yeah, para.
Do Banyankore, Bachiga, Acholi, Lugwara, Ite sorts.
Okay, okay, okay.
So the concept of Uganda is a foreign construct.
It is a colonial experiment.
It's fascinating for me that I've been, so for audience to know, but I've been living in Senegal, Dakar. I was a student there of politics. I wanted to learn from the continent, not from Europe. I've been a student in South Africa. We never hear such things. Like this capacity to say that those nations, they might historically exist as there were many nations, there were many historical things, but there is no country that can claim it's forever and that we should extend.
That's just about doctrine. That's why for us when it comes to border conflict,
Yeah,
downplay it.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
yes, it doesn't make sense.
That they put a demarcation.
If you would say,
Tanzania.
If so that on Tanzania, for us RDC was the only representative government.
okay,
Tanzania, the entire cabinet was there.
okay.
And we're saying these are not ours.
Mm-hmm. So for
Okay, so
should I conclude?
yeah, you can wrap up, Thomas.
We have to wrap up because obviously General is really busy with being involved in trade conflict in the regions to bring peace and bring peace also to the young people. And the young people that are watching us should remember that we are one of the youngest region in the world. So when we listen to as General, we also should ask ourselves more questions. I want you to go and Google things right now. Go to ChatGPT, go to your AI, go to your books, go to your grandfather, go to your uncles. Try to understand what the General have told us about. This were a really short, but really powerful, lesson history, and that showed us how those histories influence the future. I know as young people and as an educator, I contact with young people a lot in the regions. I know we want things to move. I know we want to shake the tree. I know we want to exist in the stage of history as young people, as a generation. But we also will go nowhere until we learn from the previous generations. We will have no sense of directions until we learn from the mistakes and the success of the previous generations. Pan-African have won. Pan-African have won before. It is not a first. And it have won in this region. Think of Zanzibar and Tanganyika back in the day. Unity is possible.
Many of Ethiopia.
Many of Ethiopia, Italy. You think of Sekou Touré of Guinea and Kwame Nkrumah. So Pan-Africanism has won. Generals have told us about the dynamics of this region and how always they are historically rooted. Go and research more. Go and make your own research. Ask your people. Don't always, we spoke of books in this podcast, but also go and see your elders, your uncles, your mothers, your grandfathers that are still there. Ask them what happened and build your own understanding of our beautiful region. Thank you so much for being here with us to do this task.
I wish we had more time.
Then you will come next time.
Please, and please give us comments on how often you want to see the General in this table, because I feel like we have more topics to touch on.
So many.
Thanks so much, Benjamin. Thanks so much, General.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a very good day, sir, and thank you for your work.
Same with you guys, and thank you for the book.